and thank you for joining us for this year's Regenerative Planet Summit. I hope you've enjoyed Gary Gilliam's presentation and are looking forward to the morsels yet to come. But I wanted to take a few minutes to explain to you what ARC is, the Alliance for Reason and Knowledge, how we got started, what we've been up to for the last decade, and what we hope to accomplish with the time we have in this decade. So I grew up watching Star Trek and believing that the pursuit of becoming a better person, the pursuit of becoming the next version of our best selves was the mission. That we lived to lift ourselves and each other up. That's the drive behind education, is to be able to provide for yourself and your families and the ones you love. And that extends to a human family. Because unfortunately, not everyone had the same opportunities for education that I did. And when individuals are not allowed to pursue and achieve some measure of their personal capacity, the whole world is diminished. Because it is the innovation of a nurtured and healthy mind, which is the most profitable product human species will ever produce. And capitalizing on that in order to lower the cost of living and improve the quality of life is something that ARC shares with the ideas of the Federation, Starfleet. We created the Alliance for Reason and Knowledge for just that purpose. To demonstrate how acts of random kindness, along with strategic collaborations between siloed industries and individuals, can create something greater than the sum of its parts. The mission of the Alliance for Reason and Knowledge has simply been to provide educational opportunities to empower individuals and enrich the communities in which they live, simply to help them be the change they want to see in the world. And through food campaigns, on-site clean energy campaigns, and zero waste campaigns, we have identified the pillars of a regenerative economy that is resilient and provides not only for the economic needs of its citizens, but the social and environmental needs of the system. Nature has a business model, and you can find it by studying permaculture and in advancing the ideas of the regenerative economy. However, in order to get there, people need a support system. They need a structure not only to help them achieve their career potential, but their human potential. Because as we've learned, people are whole beings. They're not just their careers, they're not just their education, their past, or their future. And as we integrate diversity, and as we come to understand that diversity, not uniformity, is our greatest strength, it helps us tackle the challenges to come. The Alliance for Reason and Knowledge was created to provide a path for those individuals who are already working so hard, to provide the tools for those in their communities who want to see something better and are looking for help to plant the seeds or to take the next step in using their passion, their education, and their imagination to help themselves, their community, the world beyond, and those to come after. That is what ARC is all about. I spent the first decade of the 21st century in the green mecca of Portland, Oregon. I learned a lot and had some great experiences working with McDonald's, Safeway, renewable energy installers, and ultimately starting a TV show and a sustainable construction company that helped people understand the value and the complexities of sustainability, permaculture, and the regenerative economy. The challenge that Portland has, which I think many large cities have, is that regardless of the new information that's available, the new sciences, the new technologies to build better, to create an infrastructure that more resembles nature in its functioning and can provide multiple functions and multiple benefits from the inputs. The challenge is the fact that there's already a city there. The existing infrastructure made it very difficult to build better. We could build back, but we had restrictions on what we could do. So my family had land in Alaska, and I moved here in 2010 to pursue the idea of building something better, building something new. And the frontier was the best place to do it. I spent the last 10 years living in a coal town in the middle of an oil state as an environmentalist and as a passion advocate for seeing our world restored to health and vitality as the greatest treasure we've ever known. Furthermore, the First Nations people and all of the diverse people, ladies, gentlemen, non binary citizens, brown, black, white, yellow, all of the colors of the rainbow. That's what gave us strength. And we wanted to try to provide solutions to providing resources to those people and figure out what it meant to be able to be the change in your own life. How taking single actions of investing with your time and money can lead to building a better world. And that's how simple it is. So for the last decade, we've continuously pushed the idea that clean energy is a solution, not only to our environmental crisis, but also to our economic one too. In Alaska, we're constrained by our cost of energy because we don't have the manufacturing to grow the demand for a new system because we don't have a new system to grow the demand. We're at one of those apexes, and the technology now can allow us to thrive as a fossil free state where all of our energy for our heat, electrical, and transportation needs can all be met on the ground. So we've been educating people about these solutions, the financing, the technological solutions, and trying to educate our political leaders that this is a way to lower costs, improve the quality of life, drive new investments into new industries that create jobs, that keep people close to their homes, while protecting our environment and our cultural treasures of language and tradition. So that, along with the Regenerative Planet Summits, Resiliency Summits, it's been called a couple of different things in its manifestations, have been ways that we've been trying to educate people on the opportunities about how small changes can make a big difference, and how through energy, food, and waste, we can create an economy that thrives for generations to come. What we've learned over the years is that in general, people want to help. They want to make a positive contribution to the world, and the pursuit of happiness is not a bigger house or a fancy car. It is simply the opportunity to express themselves as individuals and to use that as an opportunity to provide for their family and make a lasting contribution to the world. So the Alliance for Reason and Knowledge has been going through a metamorphosis during 2022. And for the remainder, we're in the process of expanding our corporate board, developing state chapters, and assembling a advisory board that can help us navigate the remainder of the decade as we transition to a hydrogen economy. Because that's the solution. That's the end game to this climate challenge, is moving from a carbon to a hydrogen economy. It's not about how the energy is generated. It's how it's transferred. It's how it's stored. It's how it's made available when and where we need it. Hydrogen can provide this in the most efficient, safest, and cleanest way. Most importantly, it's going to drop the cost of energy to almost nothing. And that is what creates the third industrial revolution, where the planet is a profitable business partner. So for the remainder of the decade, the scope of ARC is basically to serve as a workforce development group to train the next generation of permaculture professionals to mainstream the regenerative economy. Now, when you talk about permaculture and regenerative economies, most people think about agriculture, and it certainly starts there. A garden can grow into a community garden, which is the foundation of an eco-village. An eco-village is the basis of an eco-district, eco-city, and that, by definition, is a regenerative economy. So essentially, everything, all jobs in a regenerative economy are green jobs because we're extracting the oil from the landfills as well as the minerals from our e-waste. We're using practices that restore natural systems that in their natural state provide medicine and food for local living systems. And in balance and in harmony with the natural world, we can thrive and have many of the technological comforts that we now experience. But we do need to make the shift. Now is the time. We have the resources. There's a lot of this going on. We're not recreating the wheel. We're not creating these terms. We're simply trying to bring them into the mainstream nomenclature and to help the next generation have options. We didn't. When I studied clean energy in school, it was taught as an alternative, which is ridiculous because solar, wind, biofuels, methane, geothermal were all around well before the discovery of fossil fuels. So there's an education process that needs to happen. And workforce development is the best way to drive that education process. Practical experience combined with academic knowledge creates critical thinkers. And to solve the challenging challenges, and to solve the challenges that we face in the world today, we need critical thinkers, not just to tell people what to think. So the Alliance for Reason and Knowledge partnered with organizations around the world, teaching everything from agriculture to aerospace, from construction to culinary arts, from medicine to mechanical engineering. Everything that we're going to need to build a green new world can be inspired by teaching the next generation how to do it, giving them the tools and letting go with faith and confidence that they will build something that is brighter and beautiful for all. So that's what ARC's been about. That's what we've been doing, and that's what we hope to go. Thank you. Stay beautiful and enjoy the rest of the summit.